Admiral Zektar of the Hegemony Fleet stared at the tactical display with mounting frustration. 3 months had passed since they had issued their ultimatum to the small blue world in the outer rim, and still no response. The humans had ignored every transmission, every threat, every show of force. "Perhaps they don't understand our language," suggested his aide, Lieutenant Vorash. Zektar's mandibles clicked in annoyance. "They understand perfectly well. Our translators confirmed. They've been monitoring our communications. They simply choose not to respond." The Hegemony had conquered 17 star systems in the past decade. Their strategy was always the same: arrive with overwhelming force, demand surrender, and when the primitive species inevitably capitulated, absorb their resources and technology into the ever-expanding empire. It had worked flawlessly, until now. Earth was supposed to be simple. Intelligence reports indicated a young civilization, barely 3 centuries into their industrial age. They had achieved faster-than-light travel only recently and possessed no significant military presence in space. A single Hegemony dreadnought should have been more than sufficient to secure their submission, yet here they were, with a full battle group of 12 ships, and the humans continued their daily routines as if the most powerful fleet in the galaxy wasn't parked in their solar system. "Sir," called the communications officer, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth." Zektar straightened. Finally, "Put it through." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a human female in what appeared to be a simple blue uniform. She had graying hair and calm, intelligent eyes that seemed to look directly through the screen at him. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth Defense Command," she said in perfect hegemonic standard. "We've received your repeated messages regarding surrender. We decline." Zektar leaned forward. "You decline? Do you comprehend the power arrayed against you? We have conquered worlds with populations in the billions. Your entire species numbers barely 8 billion souls." Admiral Chen nodded thoughtfully. "We're aware of your capabilities, Admiral. We've been studying your tactics for quite some time. However, we must respectfully decline your generous offer of subjugation." The human's tone was so matter-of-fact, so polite, that it took Zektar a moment to process the words. "Then you choose extinction." "Very well. We will." "Actually," Chen interrupted, "we'd like to make a counter-proposal. We'll send 1 ship to meet your fleet. If you can disable or destroy it, we'll surrender unconditionally. If not, you leave our system and never return." Silence filled the bridge. Zektar's crew exchanged bewildered glances. 1 ship against 12 of the Hegemony's finest dreadnoughts? "You mock us," Zektar growled. "Not at all. This is a genuine offer. 1 ship, Admiral. Winner takes all." The transmission ended. Lieutenant Vorash approached cautiously. "Sir, surely this is some kind of trap." Zektar studied the tactical display. No hidden ships appeared on their sensors. No unusual energy readings. Just the same peaceful blue world, quietly spinning on its axis. "Perhaps they've developed some new weapon," suggested the tactical officer. "Something our sensors can't detect?" "Impossible," Zektar declared. "We've been monitoring their technology for months. They're centuries behind us in materials science, energy manipulation, and computational power. What could they possibly—" "Contact, sir." The sensor operator's voice cracked with excitement. "Single ship emerging from Earth's atmosphere." All eyes turned to the display. The vessel that appeared was unremarkable. Roughly frigate-sized with clean lines and minimal external features. No obvious weapons, no threatening silhouette. It looked almost civilian in nature. "That's their warship?" Vorash whispered. The small craft approached steadily, making no aggressive moves, broadcasting no threats. It simply flew toward the center of the Hegemony formation with the confidence of a ship that had every right to be there. "Scan it," Zektar ordered. "Sir, the scans aren't penetrating the hull. Some kind of interference. Target all weapons. The moment it shows hostile intent." The human ship stopped exactly 1,000 kilometers from the flagship, well within range of every weapon in the fleet. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then space itself seemed to ripple. "Sir," the sensor operator's voice rose to near panic. "I'm reading massive gravitational distortions. The human ship, it's doing something to space-time." Zektar watched in growing horror as the fabric of reality bent around the small vessel. Stars visible beyond it began to stretch and distort. The ship itself seemed to fade in and out of normal space-time. "All ships, open fire, now." 12. Dreadnoughts unleashed their full arsenals simultaneously. Particle beams, plasma torpedoes, and kinetic impactors converged on the human vessel in a display of destructive power that could have shattered a moon. None of it touched the ship. The weapons fire passed through the space the vessel occupied, as if it weren't there, which Zektar realized with dawning terror it wasn't. Not entirely. "Admiral," came Admiral Chen's voice over the comm, calm as ever. "We should probably explain. You see, we've been working on this little problem for quite some time. How does one defend against a technologically superior foe?" The gravitational distortions around the human ship intensified. Several of the hegemony vessels began reporting system malfunctions as space-time itself became unstable around them. "The answer," Chen continued, "turned out to be surprisingly simple. You can't fight what you can't hit, and you can't hit what exists in 11 dimensions when you can only perceive 3. One by one, the hegemony dreadnoughts began to list. As their navigation systems failed, their crews disoriented by the impossible geometry surrounding them, emergency klaxons wailed across the fleet as reality itself became unreliable. "We call it the probability drive," Chen explained. "It took us nearly 2 centuries to develop, and most of our greatest minds said it was impossible. But humans have a saying, Admiral. Impossible just means nobody's figured out how yet." Zektar's flagship shuddered as gravitational shears tore at its hull. "What do you want?" he gasped. "For you to leave, all of you. Spread the word throughout your hegemony. Earth is not interested in your empire. Find somewhere else to expand." The spatial distortions ceased as suddenly as they had begun. The human ship sat motionless in space, looking exactly as unremarkable as when it had first appeared. "Choose quickly, Admiral," Chen said. "The next human ship might not be piloted by someone as diplomatic as I am." Admiral Zektar looked at his crippled fleet, at the impossible vessel that had defeated 12 dreadnoughts without firing a shot, and made the only rational decision available to him. "All ships, prepare for immediate departure." As the hegemony fleet limped away from the Sol system, Zektar couldn't help but wonder what other impossible technologies the humans might be developing. He decided he never wanted to find out. Behind them, one small ship turned gracefully and headed home to Earth, having just ended a war before it truly began.